Olivia noticed the suitcase before she noticed anything else. It was standing beside the front door when she walked into the house on Thursday evening. Dark blue, slightly scratched on one side, with a broken zipper handle that had been tied with a small piece of ribbon years ago. Olivia recognized it immediately. Her mother only used that suitcase for long trips. For a few seconds, Olivia simply stood there with her keys still in her hand. Nothing else looked unusual. The television was on, somewhere in the living room. She could hear dishes touching in the kitchen. The smell of garlic and onions drifted through the house. Everything felt painfully normal. Then her mother walked out of the kitchen, saw Olivia standing near the door, and stopped. Just stopped. Olivia looked at the suitcase, then looked back at her. Nobody spoke. Something cold moved slowly through Olivia's chest. Because there are moments when people understand things before they fully understand them. "What is that?" Olivia finally asked. Her mother looked down at the floor, not at the suitcase, not at Olivia. And suddenly, Olivia knew that whatever answer was coming, it had already been true for a while. Olivia was 26, and for almost her entire life she had believed that her family was one of the stable ones. Not perfect, just stable. Her parents never acted like people in movies. There were no dramatic fights, no doors slammed in the middle of the night, no screaming through walls. Her father worked long hours. Her mother remembered birthdays, paid bills, and always kept fresh flowers somewhere in the house because she said empty rooms felt lonely. Life moved in ordinary routines. Dinner around 7, phone calls on Sundays, Christmas at the same place every year. Olivia used to think that if people stayed together long enough, it meant they had figured something out. As she got older, she started noticing smaller things, but never enough to turn them into questions. Her parents had slowly stopped sitting next to each other while watching television. Her mother had stopped reaching for her father's arm while crossing streets. Sometimes they spent entire dinners discussing grocery lists, weather, or neighbors without saying anything real. But Olivia thought that was adulthood. That was what happened after decades together. People settled. People became quieter. People changed. She never questioned it. Then, memories began surfacing in her mind almost immediately. A few months earlier, Olivia had stopped by unexpectedly on a Sunday afternoon. Her father had been in the backyard fixing one of the old garden chairs. Her mother had been upstairs folding laundry. Olivia remembered walking into the kitchen and opening the refrigerator. She remembered noticing two things at once. Her father's favorite orange juice was gone, and her mother's favorite yogurt sat untouched, even though she usually bought it every week. Such small things, meaningless things. At the time, Olivia had barely registered them. Now, suddenly, she wondered how many details people ignored simply because they weren't expecting a story to be hiding inside them. Another memory surfaced. Her parents' anniversary dinner 3 months earlier. Olivia remembered taking a picture of them at the restaurant because her mother insisted they never had enough photos together. Looking back, she remembered how strange it felt now. Her father had stood beside her mother, but not close beside her. There had been space between them. Not enough for anyone else to notice, just enough for her to remember now. A few months earlier, Olivia had lunch with her mother at a small cafe downtown. Her mother had been unusually distracted that day. Olivia remembered telling some long story about work, before suddenly realizing her mother wasn't really listening. She had been staring out the window. After a few seconds, Olivia had laughed. "Mom, where did you go?" Her mother blinked and smiled quickly. "Sorry, just tired." Then she reached across the table and squeezed Olivia's hand. At the time, it felt insignificant. Now, Olivia remembered something else. The expression on her mother's face afterward. Not sadness, something worse. Distance. The kind of expression people wear when they're somewhere else entirely. Back in the present, Olivia slowly put her keys on the table. What is going on? Her mother sat down, not immediately, slowly, as if sitting down gave her more time. Olivia stayed standing. Then her mother said quietly, "I was trying to figure out how to tell you." Olivia suddenly hated the sentence before she even understood it, because people only said things like that before changing your life. "I rented an apartment." Silence. Olivia stared at her. She felt like she had missed part of the conversation somehow, like there had been sentences before this one that she hadn't heard. "What?" "I rented an apartment," her mother repeated softly. Olivia laughed. Not because anything was funny, because sometimes confusion comes out sounding wrong. "What are you talking about?" Her mother looked exhausted. Not guilty, not nervous, just exhausted. "I haven't been happy for a long time." Olivia felt something sharp move through her immediately, because that wasn't the answer she expected. She expected betrayal, anger, a specific event, something concrete. Instead, there was only sadness. Quiet sadness. And somehow that felt heavier, because sadness meant there wasn't one thing to blame. Olivia sat down slowly across from her, then asked the question that had already been sitting inside her. "Does Dad know?" Her mother nodded. Olivia stared at her. "How long?" There was a pause. Then her mother answered, "A year." Olivia looked at her without speaking. A year. 365 days. Family dinners, birthdays, phone calls, Christmas. All of it had happened while something else existed underneath. And suddenly Olivia understood something that made her stomach drop. Everyone had known except her. Not everyone in the world, but everyone inside the situation. Her father knew, her mother knew, maybe even her older brother knew. Only Olivia had continued standing inside the old version of things. That realization hurt more than the suitcase. Later that night, Olivia found her father sitting alone in the backyard. He was staring into darkness without looking at anything. She sat beside him. Neither of them spoke for a long time. Then Olivia quietly said, "Why didn't anyone tell me?" Her father looked down. When he answered, his voice sounded tired. "We thought we were protecting you." Olivia didn't say anything, because she suddenly understood another painful thing. People always imagine protection as keeping someone away from pain. But sometimes protection simply means making someone the last person to understand that their own life has already changed. Hours later, after everyone had gone to sleep, Olivia walked past the front door again. The suitcase was gone. The empty space beside the wall looked strangely unfamiliar. Because sometimes people leave long before they actually walk out. And sometimes the hardest part isn't watching them go. It's realizing they had already been gone while you were still calling it home. If this story felt familiar, there are more like it here.